what is the total amount of improper payments that GAO estimates were made last year across the federal government?
Last year across the federal government, the cumulative total of the estimates made by the agencies was $247 billion. Now, I don't believe, Mr. Chairman, I might add, if I might, that estimate's not complete. There are a number of programs that estimates were not made, like the Pandemic Unemployment Insurance Program. Since 2003, these estimates have totaled $2.3 trillion. This is a trend that was a problem before the pandemic. It got worse during the pandemic.
2.3 trillion. So since 2000, it'd be roughly 2.5 trillion.
Yes.
$2.5 trillion. What are the worst programs for improper payments over that time?
Over that time, Medicaid program has the highest total for the last couple of years. $98 billion in 21, $80 billion in 2022. Medicare program, it's about $49 billion over the last 2 years. The unemployment insurance program at $78 billion in 21, about $19 billion in 22.
Jeez.
Unemployment insurance, the earned income tax credit has been about $18 billion a year. And then in 2022, which was the first year, the emergency loan programs at SBA were a $36 billion estimate. We encouraged them to make that estimate. They didn't make it in 21, but they made it in 22.
That's sickening. Last Congress, we heard from you about the need for more oversight over pandemic relief funds. As you testified at the 2021 high-risk hearing, and I quote, "When you're spending close to $1 trillion, you also need good accountability and transparency," end quote. And guess what Congress did with that important advice that you gave this committee? It rushed out another $1.9 trillion in alleged pandemic relief. But Congress didn't stop there. Congress also spent another $2 trillion of taxpayer dollars in Green New Deal spending in the infrastructure package, CHIPS and Science Act, and our favorite misnomer, the Inflation Reduction Act, which I'm not even going to get into that.
Hello, friends. I have bad news to inform you about this Friday. Hundreds of thousands of Americans may lose their benefits from programs like SNAP and Medicare if a new bill is signed into law. Several GOP lawmakers are pushing to use a debt ceiling to enact work requirements for several financial assistance programs. This could even mean overall smaller monthly benefits. My dearest friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, in a video later today, I will be announcing more winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, dear friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. House Republicans are using the debt ceiling standoff to advocate for one of their long-standing goals, requiring more low-income Americans to work in order to receive government benefits, especially food stamps and Medicaid. They see work requirements as a twofer, allowing them to reduce government spending while bolstering the nation's labor force at a time when many businesses are still struggling to staff up. But still, the controversial policy included in House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's package to increase the debt ceiling is causing some consternation within the Republican conference, with hardliners wanting to include even stricter requirements, and with moderate members in swing districts concerned they could face blowback over the issue. If the House passes the legislation this week, as Kevin McCarthy hopes, it is certain not to advance since the White House and Senate Democrats fiercely oppose work requirements, along with other components of the bill. But it serves as a starting point for negotiations with the Biden administration over addressing the debt ceiling limit. House GOP lawmakers, including some who grew up in families who depended on public assistance, argue that work requirements can lift people out of poverty and end their reliance on the government. However, critics see the mandates as an attempt to shrink vital safety net programs without regard for the millions of Americans who could be left struggling to put food on the table and address their health care needs. Under this package, childless, able-bodied adults ages 18 to 55 could receive food stamps for only 3 months out of every 3 years, unless they are employed at least 20 hours a week or meet other criteria. Estimates on how many people this would affect vary. In a recent analysis that was just released, the Congressional Budget Office said that 275,000 Americans would lose their benefits each month because they failed to meet the requirement and are not otherwise exempt. Another 19,000 people would receive small benefits because of the new income they earn. Others project a potentially larger impact. The provision would put about 900,000 Americans between the ages of 50 and 55 years old at risk of losing their food assistance unless they work sufficient hours and record that employment with their state agencies, receive an exemption, or live in an area where the mandate is waived. The debt ceiling package does not go as far as some Republicans would like. South Dakota Representative Dusty Johnson floated a bill earlier this year that would mandate recipients up to age 65 and those with children aged 7 and older to work. That legislation would have put at risk the food stamp benefits of more than 10 million Americans, including millions of children. The debt ceiling package would also tighten the eligibility requirements for Medicaid. This largely targets low-income adults who qualify under Medicaid expansion, an Affordable Care Act provision. Medicaid has never had a work requirement, but the former president administration granted waivers to several states to impose such a mandate on certain enrollees. The proposed provision would result in about 1.5 million adults, on average, losing federal funding for their Medicaid coverage. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts about these new proposals? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. The provisions included in the debt ceiling bill has reignited the debate over whether work requirements actually help improve the lives of low-income Americans. According to Speaker Kevin McCarthy, assistance programs are supposed to be temporary, arguing that the GOP plan will not hurt the nation's social safety net for those who need it during hard periods in their lives. But many studies have found that food stamps' existing work requirement does not help recipients land employment or increase their earnings, which many lawmakers have insisted. A recent analysis from the Congressional Budget Office found that expanding food stamps' work requirement may prompt some recipients to work a little more, but that would have little impact on average income because the loss in benefits would be equal to or exceed the additional earnings. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts about work requirements to receive SNAP benefits? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Friday. My friends, thank you so much for being part of this community. I will be announcing several winners in a video later today for the Walmart gift card giveaway. So please make sure, friends, that you do stay tuned. If you'd like to enter the giveaway, simply click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, dear friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Friday.